So even though all of the seasons of American Horror Story appear to be standalone, superfans know that all of them are connected in some way. And I think this season is connected to a season that hasn't even been mentioned. Like, we know this is the crossover between Murder House and Coven, but I am seeing a strong connection between this season and Asylum. So first of all, you know, Ryan is always trying to hide little things in the show that you don't catch on. You know, you have to really pay attention each season to catch on to the subtleties that are going to be big things and, you know, be parts of big reveals as the season progresses. So he's wanting you to pay attention to Venable and Kathy Bates' character Mead and, you know, all of the stars of the season so far, and the people that are the loudest, and like people like Coco and people that are, you know, the spotlight is on them right now. But I want to turn your attention to two people that we just met this season, literally because we have never seen these two actors in a season of American Horror Story before. And I'm talking about Emily and Timothy, who are now in a relationship. They had sex in this week's episode, and what we know about them is very little. We do seem to know more about Timothy than Emily because we saw people come to his home, take him away, saying that he was a chosen person based on his DNA that he had submitted to one of those ancestry sites, which was a really funny line, by the way. And when he gets to this chosen facility before he makes the move to the current location, he's introduced to Emily. Emily also gives the story that she, you know, I think either she said it or she implied it, or he thought that she was also chosen based on her impeccable DNA. But we know that she has kind of a shady backstory because she wasn't taken away from her family like he was. In fact, we never saw anything about where she came from, and we were only told by her that she was picked up at jail, which was kind of interesting, but probably a tidbit that a lot of you heard, thought about for a second, dismissed, and moved on. I actually think that's important because I think Emily is not a person that we can trust, and I think she is going to be evil later on in this series. But going back to it being connected to these characters having a connection to another season that is not Murder House or Coven, I believe they are connected to the Asylum season. Now, I always thought the ending of Asylum was like super weird and felt really out of place because we saw Jimmy Darling, who was Evan Peters' character, have like an alien encounter with his wife and everything, and I just felt like it didn't really match with the rest of the season, and I always kind of held that against that season. And it's not one of my favorite seasons because I was like, the ending was super weird, super out of place. I didn't like it. But now I think Ryan may be bringing that back into play, and I think it's a possibility that either one or both of these two young teenage characters in this couple are descendants from Jimmy Darling and his wife. Again, Jimmy had two different kids from what I remember, with two different people, and correct me if I'm wrong because it has been a while since I've seen Asylum. So either we're in a situation where it's like half brother, half sister. Remember, everyone was like very adamant that people weren't having sex in the household, and really the only people that we thought would be having sex and the only people who seemed to have an issue with that rule were Emily and Timothy. Now, we look at it as like Venable being like a stickler and just like a crazy person and like, you know, like an old time stick in the mud, whatever, like she didn't want people to have sex. But could it be that she didn't want them to have sex because they were freaking related, or because she knows more about Emily's past? So we could have this scenario that they are fully brother and sister, or that they're half brother and sister, or they're not related perhaps, but they know, again, she knows something about Emily, like being kind of an evil person or whatever, and she was afraid for them to, you know, repopulate with maybe a demon baby. So I personally think, since they did have sex in this episode, that she is going to be pregnant from that, and that the baby is going to be like a demon, because we already have Michael Langdon who is the Antichrist baby. So I'm thinking we have a second baby coming into play here. And with that scenario, you know, like when it's a demon or whatever, it doesn't always take 9 months because demons work on their own timelines, right? So again, I'm feeling like that could definitely connect us to Asylum, and I'm not saying that the whole season is going to be like Asylum connected, but I think that that could be like kind of a small connection to that very, what I thought was a bizarre ending of Asylum. I definitely think Emily and Timothy are going to be big players in this season, even though right now their presence is really understated and they seem like two really nice kids. And I especially think, I don't really get a vibe that Timothy is evil, but I definitely think that even though there's really nothing to insinuate that Emily is an evil person, I think they're going to present some interesting stuff about her background, and I can't wait to see what's up with her. That being said, I think Adina Porter's character, although not related to Emily, I think she is also evil because she has been one of the very low drama, you know, no one knows much about her except she was like some kind of talk show host that I guess her show got canceled. I think she is going to end up being kind of a bad character in this season, and we've seen her as an actress in this series end up being not a good person, especially last season. So, you know, I think what was really telling to that effect is that Venable was saying she didn't really know much about her to Michael, and she was basically trying to throw everyone under the bus. So like if she had any dirt on her, I feel like she would have shared that. So no one really knows much about her. She's kind of like in the background. She's not causing any issues. She's not complaining, and it's just weird, and something's up with her. And I think, you know, either she's evil and no one knows it, or she's evil and like Michael knows it, but I think she's evil. And I think Adina's a really great actress, so I'm excited to see that play out. Also, I was really surprised to see Joan Collins' character get killed off in this episode. I'm just super excited for the rest of this season. Let me know what you think about my asylum theory down below, what you think about what I'm seeing from, I think her name is Dinah this season, Adina Porter, because I'm really excited to see how that plays out. So if you are enjoying this season, please let me know down below as well. And if you didn't know, I'm doing live chats every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're subscribed and you turn on the bell so you'll be notified, because this is the only show I'm covering on my channel right now. So if you want to make sure you don't miss those chats or you don't miss these types of videos, just hit the bell so that you'll know. And if you, for some reason, aren't subscribed, I hope that you will. I'm really excited. This is one of my favorite shows. As you know, many of you are returning to watch my videos from the last couple of years, and I'm really excited to have all of you guys back. And I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Kelly TV. I would love for you to subscribe and be a part of the Kelly TV family. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter so you can keep up with all I'm doing.